In the year 2000, as the world was just getting used to the internet, a man appeared on a forum with a startling claim. Said he was from the year 2036. He was calm, technical, and insisted he had traveled through time. At first, everyone laughed it off. But then, he revealed something only a true insider could have known. Suddenly, a joke became a profound mystery, and a name began to echo through internet history: John Titor. It all started on a bulletin board, a relic of the early internet. The Y2K panic had just faded, and people were still figuring out what online communities could be. Amid threads on science and conspiracies, a user named TimeTraveler_0 started answering questions. He claimed he was a soldier on a mission, and his name was John Titor. Naturally, no one believed him. But unlike typical pranksters, he didn't argue or boast, he explained. He discussed time travel not as fantasy, but as applied physics and mechanics. His mission, he said, was to go back to 1975 to retrieve an IBM 5100 computer. It sounded absurd until he explained why. That old computer, he claimed, had hidden functions capable of translating between legacy code systems. These secret features would be crucial decades later to keep essential government software from collapsing. Skeptics started digging. To their astonishment, IBM engineers confirmed it. The IBM 5100 did, in fact, have secret diagnostic capabilities known only to a handful of insiders. The laughter stopped. A chill went down the spine of the early internet. Titor then described his time machine in stunning detail. He said it was installed inside a 1967 Chevrolet, powered by 2 microsingularities, tiny black holes held in a magnetic suspension. He called it the C204 Gravity Distortion Unit. He even posted a technical manual, complete with schematics and component labels. Physicists who examined the diagrams noted that the terminology in math, while speculative, referenced legitimate Einsteinian equations. It might have been fiction, but it was incredibly convincing fiction. He introduced the concept of world lines, multiple parallel realities that branch off with every decision made. Each time a traveler jumped, he explained, the new timeline would diverge by about 2% from the original. This meant his 2036 wasn't necessarily our 2036, just a close neighbor. A mirror world slightly out of sync. This also became his perfect defense. Any failed prediction could be explained away as a world line divergence. When asked what his world was like, his tone grew more somber. He described a future scarred by conflict. A second American Civil War, he said, had begun around 2008. Major cities fell into decline, power decentralized, and people were forced into small, self-sufficient communities. After years of chaos, society began to rebuild. He painted a picture of a world that was less global, less crowded, but perhaps more honest. Technology survived, but it was used for survival, not comfort. He spoke of lingering radiation from limited nuclear strikes, collapsing data systems, and a government that barely resembled the one we know today. And while his predictions of a civil war didn't come true for us, some of the details he shared were eerily close to later headlines. He warned of growing government surveillance, deep political polarization, and renewed tensions with Russia, all of which became major themes in the 2010s. For believers, these were signs of his authenticity. For skeptics, they were just lucky guesses, or clever observations of current trends. Throughout all this, Titor remained patient, polite, and strangely calm. He never tried to start a cult or demand that people believe him. He just answered questions, shared photos of his supposed machine, and gently reminded everyone that his timeline might already be different from ours. Then, in March 2001, he announced he was leaving. His final post was simple and cryptic. "Bring a can opener. I'll be leaving this world line soon. And remember, not all your questions can be answered." After that, he disappeared without a trace. Immediately, the internet erupted. Websites were created to archive every single one of his posts. Investigators tried to trace his IP addresses, but no clear origin was ever confirmed. Some theories suggested the persona was a group project, perhaps a Florida family experimenting with viral storytelling before the age of social media. Others clung to the belief that he was genuine, a leak from a classified government experiment, but no one ever came forward to confess or take credit. What makes the John Titor story so compelling is how it expertly blended real, verifiable science with imaginative fiction. The detail about the IBM 5100 was true. His talk of micro black holes echoed theoretical research that was just beginning at CERN. In fact, he predicted that time travel would be proven by 2034, when physicists would finally create stable singularities. Just a few years later, the Large Hadron Collider opened in Switzerland, conducting experiments that sounded remarkably similar to his descriptions. While no black holes were made, the parallel was close enough to keep his legend alive. His concept of time as a rope of many strands, where a traveler could never return to their exact starting point, was a brilliant narrative device. It created a perfect paradox. Even if he was proven wrong, he couldn't be wrong. By 2003, the legend of John Titor had escaped the niche message boards and entered mainstream consciousness. He was featured on late-night radio shows and documentaries and across countless websites. A person claiming to be a family representative even appeared online, stating that John had returned home safely, and then they too vanished. A private investigator eventually traced the earliest posts to a law office in Florida, with ties to a group of creative writers. But without concrete proof, it remained just another theory. So why did so many people believe him? It might be because he arrived at a unique moment in history. The world had just entered the digital age. Technology felt both infinite and fragile. The internet was a new frontier, and people were just beginning to realize how it could bend and shape reality. Into this new world stepped a man who claimed it already had. Titor's vision of the future was hauntingly plausible. There were no aliens or magic, just human consequence. He described a world brought low by its own arrogance and rebuilt by necessity. That chilling realism gave his words a powerful weight. Scholars now refer to John Titor as the first true digital myth, a story created collectively by the online community. Every believer and every skeptic who engaged with him helped write it. Each debate, each analysis added another thread to his growing legend. He became a mirror, reflecting our own fears about technology and our deep-seated longing for mystery in an increasingly explained world. Even his terminology, phrases like world-line divergence and microsingularities, later appeared in actual physics papers. Was it a coincidence? Did he have access to cutting-edge research? Or was it something we were never meant to understand? Every few years, new Titor sightings surface online. An encrypted file, a blurry photo, a mysterious forum post. They always fade away, but the cycle never ends. Like ripples in time, his story reappears whenever technology seems to be moving faster than our ability to trust it. Maybe that's the real lesson of John Titor. The story isn't about whether he was real or not. It's about how easily we can create realities together. All it took was one voice, a few technical diagrams, and the world built an entire universe around him. He proved that in the information age, mystery can travel much faster than truth. If it was all a work of fiction, it was flawless. There were no contradictions, no marketing gimmicks, and no final reveal. Never broke character, never returned to take a bow. And in the end, that perfect, unbroken silence became its own kind of proof. 2 decades later, his posts are still circulating. They exist as screenshots, quotes, and archives digital fossils from the very first years of online myth-making. Because some stories don't fade away, they adapt. They live on servers around the world, copied, pasted, and rediscovered by a new generation of curious minds. He once wrote, "Every moment you live now is already a memory of another world line." Maybe he was right. Maybe every choice we make spawns another thread in the fabric of reality, another version of us, still out there, reading his words for the first time. And somewhere on one of those threads, John Titor might still be typing. Whether he was a soldier, a storyteller, or a signal from the year 2036, his message remains the same. The future is not fixed. It bends with our beliefs and is shaped by our imagination. He left behind no machine, no physical proof, lead words. But those words have traveled farther than any device ever could. They've crossed decades, untouched by time, kept alive by the simple, powerful force of human curiosity. And perhaps that is the truest form of time travel there is. If you enjoy exploring fascinating mysteries like this, remember to like this video, subscribe to NovusThread, and stay curious. We have another mystery to unravel for you very soon.